I'm gonna be the first to say it. Your creativity doesn't just go away. You are it. Let that be that. Another tip that I have, and that some people like for some reason are just so allergic to hearing this tip, but I'm gonna scream it from the rooftops. Hello, 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 party people. Long time no get ready with me. I am beyond excited to chat with y'all. I have been working so hard, spiraling even, dreaming, creating, and I felt like I wanna come on here and give y'all some tips to fighting creative exhaustion, fighting overwhelm as a creative, giving y'all a nice little reset, how to give yourself a reset, and also give y'all a life update where I've been and what I'm doing on YouTube now, because that's where we're gonna be hanging out sometimes. If you've never seen my face before, hi, my name is Kendall. I'm your well-rounded creative girly. I am a creative director and photographer based in Atlanta, Georgia. I do a lot of other things like host events for creative entrepreneurs and artists called ATL Connectives, and I am just an advocate for creative entrepreneurs, the girls, the people. And I'm ready to create a space and a community for people online, but I also do that in person. So if you're new here, welcome to your new favorite place to be as a creative, for just practical guidance and real life advice, real life behind the scenes, learning about other creatives and learning about other things. I'm very excited to be here. I'm excited to just get ready with me. I feel like it's a good one. So if you have been stuck creatively or you're super overwhelmed recently, feel like you're in need of some tips or even a pep talk, this is the video for you. And let's talk, shall we?
Ooh, we're recording. Oh my goodness. Is this thing on? I hope so. The way it's not.
Can y'all hear me good? Oh, I did the first 2 minutes, no mic. I'm sure that audio sounded nuts. So I guess I want to try and do this intro again. Oh, damn. We're back, you guys. We are so back with technical malfunctions and the inability to do literally anything right. So let's rewind. If y'all recall, if you've seen this video on my TikTok, I'm gonna play the clip.
Y'all, I am never social media managing ever again. I feel like I'm in the middle of a career pivot and things are kind of just like shifting because of that. I've always liked making the content for clients. I took up photography. I've been getting better, and I know that I like being on set. I like directing the way things ought to go. I love ideating and like conceptualizing things and kind of like following through. Pretty much where I feel like my career is headed and what I think that I'm good at is production oriented things. Like if it has to do with getting the content created and like handed over to a client, I love to do it. I've decided that I'm focused on building connections with and creating with creative entrepreneurs and artists.
If you are not following me on TikTok, I don't know how you found this channel. That's neither here nor there. I talked about this like last year. I feel like I'm entering like a season, I guess, in my life where, oh, I don't even normally do that. Y'all got me acting up on camera. Caught me lacking. But anyway, I felt like I was in a season of my life like I was like, I am never social media managing ever again. If you like have been following me for a long time, you know that that's kind of how I started. I started like with my own business in social media management and content creation. Then I moved to just content creation and then like consulting. And then I was like a photographer, and now I'm a creative director photographer. And I'm still growing and building and learning and doing and seeing and jumping and running and flipping and flying. So I just like want to talk about some stuff. First of all, that video, like those thoughts and feelings I had, they all came to pass, which is so crazy. I want to make a whole other video about like manifesting as a creative, because granted, there's not much difference manifesting as like a creative and like a non-creative person, but I don't know. I think like a lot of creatives like get stuck in this like box because they put themselves there. For me, it was like social media management. Like I was like, oh my God, like that's the only profession creatively that's like paying. And like that is just like not true. I had to overcome that thought process. And here we are like a whole year later after like making that video. Hi, editing Kindle here. I said repeatedly, and I'm going to say repeatedly, that I made that video last year. I might even say like this time last year. So that's deeply untrue. I made that video in September of 2024, which makes like right now ridiculous. So I will be making that manifestation video because I just think I've cracked it. I've cracked it open like a walnut. I've cracked the code. Those tips are coming soon. Feeling like, oh, you guys, normally I do my eyebrows too. What is going on? It's because the camera's on. I'm like acting a fool because the camera's on. But yeah, I speak everything into existence. So if y'all want a video on manifesting and how to do that, let me know because I will provide it. But I spoke that into existence and now we have a new job. And if you do not follow me on Instagram, you should, but you would know that I am the in-house videographer, photographer for LYS Beauty. Everybody make some noise. Yes. I'm an LYS girly now. Crazy. We went from managing social media accounts to being an in-house photographer. And I didn't know how to shoot 2.5 years ago. So that's not even the point of this video. The point of this video is about being busy. But from the beginning of this year to now is May, I have been on go mode. Hello. Not makeup in my hair. It's safe to say that I've pivoted quite a bit in my career, and I want this to be like also like a lesson to anybody watching that like you too can pivot in your career. If you feel like you want to do something else, you should do it. I'm telling you, there is genuinely no limit to what you can achieve. Living for this also, mind you, this is the Gots to Be Glued Like Edge tamer. I use it for my eyebrows. It's like a 2-in-1. You can use it for your eyebrows and your edges. It does not work for our edges, ladies. But it works for the eyebrows, okay? Let me also just say, like, though it's been insane, though it's been hectic, I have never been more grateful to be so busy. I have prayed for times like this. And I think that's probably my number one tip when it comes to like reframing how you ought to think in this time frame. Yes, it's so overwhelming. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of moving parts. But when I tell you, like, did you or did you not used to pray for these moments? Right. Let's be grateful. Let's like slow down and think about like how amazing it is that we got here. Something that I've just put my boyfriend onto doing, and we're going to do this more often, is I do a gratitude list along with an affirmations list. I try to do it every night. If I can do it twice a day, like doing it every morning and night, at least if you're like just getting started, I would recommend that. And like you can put anything on the gratitude list. Like, yes, you're grateful for the new job that you are believing is coming to pass. You're grateful for Mexican food. I put that on every single list, which then leads me to my next thought. I have been documenting my career and like my creative endeavors since 2021. And I would be remiss if I didn't say like I'm still figuring all of that out. Balancing client work, balancing taking my content seriously, balancing helping other people in their content, you know, I still struggle with it. I really do. I think this is the part where people are like, you know, oh, like if you create your own stuff, you will be fulfilled. But if you're anything like me, you will struggle with time management. And unfortunately, like the client work has to come first. So you're doing client work, and then there's little to no energy left for what really truly fulfills you as a creative. Or you're in a 9-to-5 and you're doing the 9-to-5 and then you have barely any time or energy for what fulfills you as a creator. Like, for example, like I haven't done a connective, which stay tuned because we will talk about the connective, but essentially that's my social group for creative entrepreneurs and artists in Atlanta. So if you're in Atlanta, you should come to a connective. We're having one this month. But that's fallen to the wayside. I have 2 podcasts that have fallen to the wayside that I need to just combine into one, child, but that is a whole other conversation. I think it's also just like super important that creatives be honest about where they're at, because I know a lot of creators like to pretend that we have it all together. We don't. A lot of us don't. I don't. I'll speak for myself. I do not. The point is like the whole argument of like doing things that'll creatively fulfill you after your job. Like you just know when you have so many ideas, but you have like no brain space to actually execute on said ideas. That is where a lot of us are. And I understand that. Truly, I do. But I think I want to remind everybody that your creativity doesn't just go away because you're prioritizing other things or because you're prioritizing client work or you're prioritizing your job. You're still a photographer even if you haven't done a shoot in a couple weeks. You're still a model if you haven't been on a paid gig in a while. All those things you still are. And I think that we have to remember that we have done it, we are doing it, and just because you take a break doesn't negate what you've done. Does that make sense? I think, and I guess this is a tip, you should be open to how your creativity shows up in these busy seasons. I'll be so real with y'all. For me, it's been making coffee. I don't know what's gotten into me. Now, let me get one thing straight. I don't cook. I don't do that. I don't do the cooking. But I got a Breville for myself for Christmas, and I have used that machine almost every day since. I make my own syrups at home. I get beans from like my coffee stores nearby. Honestly, it has been a saving grace. Like that is how my creativity has shown up for me in this busy season where like I know I'm gonna make a coffee for myself every single day, and I know that I'm putting some sort of creative energy into like mixing flavors and like making a new syrup or testing out a new recipe. Like I am still showing up for myself creatively, even though it doesn't look like how I've always shown up for myself creatively. Like, yeah, no, I'm not doing a podcast right now, and I've been on hiatus from my social group and the events that I curate for like 2 months now, but I've made a coffee every day, and that is where we will keep it pushing there. So like all I'm saying is just like be open to seeing how your creativity can show up in other ways. Maybe it's you doing your makeup every morning, which is something I've also been getting into. Not just because I'm now employed at a beauty brand. It does help. It does light a fire under you to look pretty for work when you have beautiful coworkers. But that also playing with my face and like seeing what works, seeing what doesn't, like trying new routines, trying new products, like something I did not do a ton growing up now is a creative outlet for me when at one point it like wasn't. So I'm trying to show up for myself in different ways. And I think what I'm trying to say is,
They say when you change your perspective, that's when miracles happen.
show up for yourself in little ways. Find the creative ways. Maybe it's doing your outfit. Maybe it's doing your hair. Maybe it is finding new jewelry that you like. I love my little hand chain. This is all just like plugs for like things that have been working for me. I'm going to be the first to say it. It's okay to take a break. It's okay. Sometimes you need it. I genuinely believe, if you haven't heard of it, I think everyone should do it. It's called a do nothing day. I've been meaning to make a TikTok about a do nothing day for so long. But if you've never heard of a do nothing day, it is just as it sounds. You do nothing. It is a creative reset, not just a creative reset, but a reset for you. I'm talking about intentional breaks and rest before you get to a place where you're operating on survival mode and you are forced to take a break. And I think that we also equate productivity with movement. Like if we're not moving or doing or in an active state, we're not being productive. That is untrue. Resting is also a verb. Walk with me. Resting is also a verb. Well, technically resting, you know what I'm saying? Take a rest. That's a verb, right? Resting is a verb, whatever. I can't know how y'all be doing, folks. The point is, being still, resting is just as productive as movement and doing or working towards your goals. Rest looks different for everybody. I like to rest by, watching television with my boyfriend, with my friends, or like hanging out, doing things that are not work related a lot of the times, doing things without the thought of capturing content. That is rest to me. So like I said earlier, I host events for creative entrepreneurs and artists in Atlanta, and we call it the Connective, ATL Connectives. Follow us. That being said, for the month of May, we're hosting an event that is actually right up the alley of what I'm talking about. This whole video is an ad. Because I do believe that rest is sacred and important, and sometimes we do it in community because having community that understands and respects that you also need rest is important. So come rest amongst others in May, this month, by coming to our Do Not Disturb pajama party. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, have you ever been to a pajama party for just creative entrepreneurs and artists? For just creatives? I don't think you have. That means y'all better turn up and turn out with the pajamas. I'm so for real. I'm so serious. I'm so for real. I've been hosting events for creatives mainly because I think connection is so important. Like I cannot emphasize enough like how important connection is, especially for creatives. Like, and there's so much competition. Why? I don't know. I was actually talking to an Atlanta-based creator the other day. I was telling her about the Connective, and she was like, I've been looking for something like that because I've just found that like, some of these influencer events and whatever, they're so competitive. They're so weird. People that come are just like weird. I'm happy to say and report that I only have the coolest people coming to these events. Like, I've watched introverts break out of their shells at these events, which is just so cool because obviously I'm an extrovert, like, duh, unfortunately. But, if you're quieter, like my whole goal was to like, so that people who are quiet or feel like they lack creative community can come meet people, or at least one person that they feel like they can relate to or they can like meet up with or hang out with. I felt like it was important to have a designated time to not only connect with other people, but now to connect with people with the idea of rest in mind, which is where Do Not Disturb was born. So these are the vibes. If you want to come on down, come on down. All the information to get tickets will be in the bio. And if you don't live in Atlanta, send it to somebody who does. I beg. Or come on down. Fly down to Atlanta for one night only. I had to also lean into the do not disturb vibes, because how many times do we also reach for our phones when we are like creatively disturbed and tapped out and we just start doom scrolling? Has your phone, genuinely, have you ever scrolled for inspiration and it worked? Quickly. Okay, right. The answer is no, Kindle. I have never in my life been creatively stuck and then scrolled on social media and felt better. That's tip number however many tips we are on at this point. Get off that damn phone. Ooh. So remember when I said that I was like learning and like getting creative with, oh no, oh my God. Remember when I said that? Remember when I said that? I'm already wearing like orange blush. Like, I hope this isn't like so insane. I think it's funny though, unfortunately, because like obviously you found this video because maybe you're also creatively tapped and like looking for inspiration. And like for that, I love that for you. You should stay on this video to the very end. But after this video is over, get outside. I beg. Turn your phone off. You're done. The next like tip I guess I have is to lean into what you love. And I know that sounds like super cliche and kind of like, okay, like duh. Kindle, I don't know what to do. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna make a things I love list. The tip I do have though for creating an things I love list is to go back to your gratitude list, and like the ridiculous things that you're grateful for, put that on the things you love list as well. For example, like I love Mexican food. So if I'm ever like just like not having the day, I'm gonna go to my things I love list, and when it says Mexican food, I'm probably gonna get myself a Mexican food. So that's your homework. Go create a list of things that you love. Another tip that I have, and that some people like for some reason are just so allergic to hearing this tip, but I'm gonna scream it from the rooftops. You should be free writing. Like every creative should be free writing. This is also like my version of journaling, I guess. If you've never free written, essentially it is finding a topic that you decide to write on, setting a timer and writing on solely that topic for like 10 minutes is what I set my timer for. And the goal is to not let your pen or pencil leave the paper. So you are quite literally going to brain dump. Even if you're writing over and over again, I don't know what else to write, I don't know what else to write, so be it. You are going to empty your brain. A lot of the times I try to just do that in the morning. Brain dump, free write, what's going on in my brain. But if you want prompts, like if you're a prompt girly, we'll have prompts in the description for you that I live and breathe by and swear by, because they have transformed my life at some point or another. I guess this is like the rapid fire tips section, because I'm just like spouting them out the mouth. But my other tip would be to just like go find something to look forward to. That could be going to see a movie, that could be like hanging out with your friends, anything. Look forward to something. I'm also reminding myself, and in turn reminding you, busy seasons does not mean that I've lost my creativity or that you have lost your creativity. It just alters how you show up. This is what we prayed for. We prayed for busy seasons. We prayed for getting that paper. We prayed for weekends that are booked out and booked and busy. So we have to be grateful, but we also are allowed to be like, damn, that's a lot, okay? Because it is, it's a lot. Oh, I gotta sharpen this. What is this, honey? I'm realizing like I did not contour my nose, nothing. I just half-assed this routine real bad. If you guys wanna do something fun, if you wanna just like have a good time, maybe leave a comment. Let's do your creative occupation, like what do you do creatively? Not what you do for money, because sometimes like people are like, I'm still pursuing this thing. Also, okay, can I just really quickly, one of my biggest pet peeves in the world is I hate when creatives say that they are an aspiring such and such. You are not an aspiring shit. You are doing that thing. So if you will please not put aspiring anything. You are a such and such, especially if you have done anything in that category. Okay? If you are in school for filmmaking, you are a filmmaker and I am still in school. That's fine. You're not no aspiring nothing, honey. You are it. Let that be that. That being said, let's do a comment. Let's do a fun thing. Let's do your creative occupation, 3 things you're grateful for. Let's do something you're looking forward to, and then go under someone else's comment if you want to, and like spread a little positivity. Tell them that they're great and that they're, you know, let them, give them, you know, tell them to have a good day. I don't know. Just do something nice. I do like think in this like new era of like moving forward and like pursuing the things that I like want to pursue and really like owning that. I want this hub that I'm creating to be a safe space for creatives. and for us to get inspired off of each other, and for us to have these pep talks, and for us to have have community and actually like build on that community. And I'm excited for this next chapter. So if you've been following me for a long time, thank you for being here. If you're new here, thank you for being here. That's all. I hope that this helped, especially I hope that this gave all of my friends, family, and Six fans a nice update for where I've been and what's to come. I think before that we go as well, please understand that the feeling that you are feeling right now, as far as the creative exhaustion, the overwhelm, it is all temporary. This too shall pass. And that's not to negate your feelings or invalidate them. They're so real, but understand that you won't feel this way anymore, and that it's just best to take it in stride, and it will be over soon. The exhaustion, the overwhelm. But hopefully this helped you mitigate and, find your way through it and be able to be present in the moment that you're in and grateful for it. Yeah. If you're in Atlanta, I'll see you on the 29th. If you're not in Atlanta, fly here. But I will see you in the next video, I'm sure. Bye.